Access is available to our licensed electronic resources, books, databases and journals to all registered staff and students, irrespective of where they are located. If you are currently using the college's VPN, this does not in itself provide off-campus access to our electronic resources. Use these instructions instead. Unfortunately, due to our publisher's licensing restrictions, off-campus access to electronic resources is not available to our visiting readers, including our alumni, who can only use the resources physically in the library. Web pages such as the library catalogue or our A to Z list of databases and ebooks include links which will direct you to log in using your college username and network password. If you do not log in, you will not be able to access these resources. Once you log in, you should not be prompted to log in again during that search session. If you experience any problems with your username and password, please contact our colleagues at the IT service desk. So we're now going to demonstrate accessing the library's electronic resources off campus. To do that, we'll first of all run a search in the library catalogue, which is called Stellar Search. We'll then look at our databases and ebooks page, and finally we'll look at a service we have access to called Browsing, which is very useful for staying up to date on particular topics. So we'll start off by typing in the search box here, a subject search. Click on Go, and that will then take us into the library catalogue Stellar Search. So we can see on the right hand side that we're getting various options here for different access points. So for this article, if I click on PDF, the first thing it will do is make me log in with my Trinity username and password. So I pop that in. And it's now taking me directly to the PDF. If I go back to the library catalogue, you can see that for this particular article, it's not giving me the PDF icon. Instead, it's saying access via Science Direct. Science Direct is one of our database providers. So if I click on that, I'm being asked to log in again. And it's taking me to the journal there, and I'm seeing the full text of it as HTML, as a web page, but at the top there it says download PDF. I click on that and it will give me the full article as the PDF as well. Finally, if I go back to the library catalogue, for this article here, it isn't giving a PDF or access via, instead it's saying full text finder. Full text finder is the library's link resolver. This will try and find access to the full text. So I click on that, and here it's saying yes, it thinks that we have access through a couple of routes. So I'm going to try clicking on this one here. And if it's the first time you do that, it would make you log in with your username and password as before. But again, we can see here is the full text. And once more, if I click on download PDF, it's opening up the PDF, which I can then save as I want to. I'm now going to go back to the library catalogue and run a search for the title of a journal rather than the title of an article. So if I go back to that tab there, and I'm just going to type in the name of a journal here. Journal of Advanced Nursing, do a search for that. And you can see that we have the print copy, but also we have access to the electronic copy. For this particular journal, we have access going all the way back to the very first edition. So if I click on this link here, again, if this is the first time I'm doing it in a session, it will make me log in. But here you can see we're getting access to the entirety of that journal going all the way back to the first few ones there. So all the way back to volume 1, back up to volume 76, the latest edition, just published this month. Finally, in Stellar, I'm going to do a search for an electronic book, for an ebook. So if I go back to Stellar, and I'm just going to search for this particular title. So obviously we have lots of titles to do with this, including ones in print, but I'm looking for an ebook. So the way to find that is if we go to where it says Format, and click on More there. And the one we're looking for, in this case, for an ebook which we can access off campus, is this E-book. Okay? So that one there, E-book. Click on Apply, and we can now see that we have access to this particular work. And again, if I click there, If I was doing this the first time, it would make me log in with my username and password in the session. But here we have access to the full text of this online. We can download chapters. We can borrow the book for a temporary amount of time. And there are all the chapters of this particular work. Great. I'm now going to start looking for a couple of databases. So if we go back to the library catalogue, if you ever need to get back to the library homepage from the library catalogue, just scroll all the way down to the bottom and click on where it says library home there, and then you're back to the library homepage. We're now going to access one of the library's subscribed databases. So from the library homepage, we click on where it says databases and ebooks. And this is the full list of the databases which we subscribe to, plus a few free ones. So we are going to try Web of Science. So we click on the W here, or you could run a search for it in the search box here. And we're going to go into where it says Web of Science Core Collection. So the first time you access this in the session, it will make you log in with your Trinity username and password. So I'm just going to type that in here. And we're now in Web of Science. So I'm going to run a very quick search. And you can see that it's giving us access to some things. For this one, if we want to see do we have the full text of this article, we click on this little TCD button there. That then opens what's called our full text finder. And you can see here it's saying view this in a variety of different places. So I'm going to try this link here. And we're now reading the full text of that article. And if I want to download the PDF, click on download PDF here. And there's the full text of that article. We're now going to run a search in one of our other databases in Google Scholar. So to do that, we're again in our A to Z databases page, click on G, and then scroll down and click on Google Scholar. Now, unlike the vast majority of our other databases, this will not make you log in with your Trinity username and password. Instead, to get Trinity links to display, you need to make a change in the settings. So to show you what happens if we don't do that, I'm going to run a quick search. And although Google Scholar is very good at getting links displayed to the full text of items, you can see it's not doing it for everything. So for this article here and this article here, it's not displaying links to the full text. So in order to get the Trinity links to display, we go up to this menu here, click on it, and then under Settings, we click on where it says Library Links. We can now do a search for Trinity, and I'm going to untick Open WorldCat, and I'm going to tick Trinity College Dublin Check TCD eJournals. You do not need to be signed into your Google account. This will work whether you are or not. So we click on Save. Now it's rerun the search, and now you can see that this link to Check TCD eJournals is displaying. So we'll try it for one of these. This will now make you log in with your Trinity credentials. That opens what we call the full text finder. And we can click where it says view this article at Science Direct. That opens up the journal's page, and as you can see, here is the full text of this article. Or if we click on where it says download PDF, download this article, we're now reading the PDF of it, and there it all is. The final off-campus resource I'm going to show you is called Browsing. So Browsing is excellent for staying up to date on particular disciplines. To access it, we go up to the top here and click on where it says Search Collections. And then we go in where it says eJournals by Subject Browsing. So we click that, and it knows what we have access to. So I'm going to do a search for a particular subject. So I'm going to put in climate change here. And it's giving us results by names of journals. So these journals have those words in it. But here is the subject. So this one in red is the subject, climate change. So I click on that, and it's laid out very, very nicely. So it's giving you a little thumbnail of the journal title there. And I'm going to click on where it says climate change here. That's one of the journals. By default, it goes into the most recent one, but we also have access going quite far back. And if I click on Download PDF, there I am, seeing the full text once more. And if I go back, I can go into a different issue, one earlier in the year, and again I'm getting access to all the PDFs. This works very well remotely and will also work on your tablet or phone. We hope you found that useful. If you have any further questions, feel free to contact your subject librarian who will be happy to walk you through how to get the best from our electronic resources.